Hi, good evening, Kenyans in South Australia. We are the group that you were promised that we're coming in to have a special podcast tonight. And with us today in the studio, we're a small group. I just want to remind us that the reason we're here tonight is given the things that are going on in our community. Kenyans are hurting. Kenyans are crying. We're in pain. And if you look around the world, we're all in a difficult time based on the events that are going on with the protests going on in Kenya. And there's not a Kenyan anywhere in the world that is not being touched by what's going on. And as members of this South Australian community, if you've been on WhatsApp, you know that this conversation has been going on since last night, and there's emotions, there's our country's burning. Yesterday we saw images of our country on fire, Parliament, our City Hall, the governor's offices, and just all over the country. We've seen loss of lives, and people are saying, where is the leadership of Kasa? Where is Kasa when our country is burning? I've heard criticism, watu wanaulizaje, ati watu tuletea disco, gala, entertainment. But right now, we're not hearing them, but we've seen around the world people happening. So we were invited tonight, and we're not any special. We're just members of a community that happen to be available. We were hoping for bigger quorum, but this is where we are. We want to make an introduction and start to have this conversation. Engage everybody who's present. You're all welcome. We're going to have a live feed where you can participate, ask your questions. We are not experts. We're not here to give you answers. We're just here to facilitate a conversation. And we believe that you guys actually have the answers for us. So before we go any further, my name's Peter Ndwati. I'm part of this community. And to my right, I've got John. John, would you like to say hello? And then we'll come to Sharon and then to Moen.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is John, and I'm the Kasa president. And I'm glad to be part of this conversation. Hopefully tonight we'll engage, have a very fruitful discussion, and we welcome you to comment. Let us know the issues that you want addressed or you want us to talk about. Thank you. Let's hear from the others.
Thank you, John. Yeah, that is Kasa is here tonight. When John is here, he's here to represent. And guys, let's go easy on each other. We are part of this community. We are all affected in the same way. Sharon, introduce yourself to us, please.
Hello, my people. My name is Sharon Ruto Chepkurui. Just happy to be here, and I'm definitely looking forward to what you people are gonna say. And yeah, let's do this.
Awesome. Moen, it's the first time I'm meeting you. Please introduce yourself to the rest of us. Yes.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Moen Bubwa, and I normally do conversations often, so it's kind of what I like.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for making the time to be here. Thank you, Jimmy, who's behind the cameras for us. So the purpose of this meeting, as it was announced by our president, is about the Kenyan Finance Bill and the protest. And people have asked, why hasn't the Kasa as an organization led us in rejecting the bill? So my first question, before we go anywhere, is, John, would you like to address that? Why hasn't Kasa given us leadership in rejecting this bill and joining the rest of the Kenyans around the world?
Thank you very much. And I know many people have been asking where is Kasa, but we have been following the conversation. And as you all know, Kasa is an organization. Kasa is not John. Kasa is an organization, and an organization has policies and procedures, and we are guided by the constitution of Kasa, and the president of Kasa is the person who safeguards or ensures that the constitution is safeguarded. Now, as per our protocols, as per the constitution, if we are to make any major decision, it requires a resolution, and so there are some decisions that would require the input of all the members. So I think most people right now, I'm one of the most hated at the moment because people are asking what's our opinion. However, let me say, like we said in the morning, the issue of the finance bill the issue that is at hand at the moment, it transcends Kasa. It's beyond Kasa. And I want to just put it out there. Even all those demonstrations, all those protests that are being done out there, they are not done by organizations. Even the one that was done in Victoria, it wasn't done by the Kenyan community in Victoria. These are young people who come together and form groups or subgroups and come out. I have been following this conversation on X as well. So there's so much conversation that is going on. And it doesn't mean that silence means supporting the bill. Let me say this, the bill has not gone through yet. For a bill in Kenya to go through, it has to get the presidential assent. And the presidential assent has not been done. And part of what we can do as a community, as Kasa, is we represent the community, we represent the views of the community. Our job is to get the views of the members and present them using the relevant channels.
Let me interrupt you, John, and I hate to put you on the spot, but I think it's necessary. I'll give you an example. So there's a post that has been shared in our groups from the Kenyan community in New South Wales. I'm just going to read it verbatim, just as it says. So it says the date is the Kenyan community, New South Wales, dated the 25th of June. And it says, we begin by sending our sincere condolences to the patriotic citizens who tragically lost their lives today, while hoping to voice their concerns about the tax regime. The right to express, demonstrate, and picket is not only a democratic right and expectation, but also enshrined in the Constitution. Today, however, reinvents the dark memories of the extrajudicial killings and excessive use of force, which directly threaten the progress made in the democratic space and constitutionalism. We must never go back. And then this is the point I want you to listen to, because I want you to respond to this. This says, the KCNSW, the organization, the Kasa in New South Wales, encourages and stands with the Kenyans populace and its friends as they continue expressing their concerns as expected by the Constitution. John, here's my question to you, and this is what I hear people asking: why couldn't Kasa just make that statement? Because you don't need a vote, or are you saying you need to bring the entire group together to make that statement?
Well, we made a statement later today.
Yeah.
And
or only today?
Yeah, we did make a statement.
Okay.
I don't know whether you've seen it.
Yeah.
And we do not condone violence, whether it's coming from the protesters, whether it's coming from the government. We do not condone any form of violence. What we do want to see is constructive dialogue. We have the right in the Kenyan Constitution to picket,
correct,
to demonstrate, to do anything you want.
But the question is, and guys, we're coming to you, please. I just want to make a point here. And the point is, John, why did it take you so long just to put out a statement? And we're not asking you to defend it. It's just to make a statement to say we have solidarity. Is it that Kasa does not see? Can you not feel the pain that Kenyans are having, or do you see that as an attack on you as the Kasa leadership?
Well, like I said, for us to put, it depends with the wording. We cannot, like as an association, say we are rejecting the bill. I can say it as John. But when it comes to rejecting the bill, that's a different proposition altogether.
What about to stand with the people?
However, to stand with the people.
Yes.
That we do. That we do. And if we took longer than expected, I think being a leader this time is very difficult, because it's very hard to manage the expectation of so many people.
But can you understand the frustration that people have? Because what I'm seeing in the media, social media, WhatsApp groups, is people are frustrated that Kasa is quiet. Speak for us. Give us a voice. Represent us. Look around the world. In the US, Washington, Dallas, then there's UK, then there's Melbourne, Canada.
Yeah.
It's going on. But then South Australia, we're saying, oh, we can't do these. But can you at least acknowledge that you understand what people are expecting of you? I can understand you saying, oh, yeah, I can't speak for the whole group. But do you understand the frustration that people are saying? But you represent us. When there's a disco, when there's a gala, we find 50,000 messages, right? Unapata kila siku unachapwa na message, sign up. Or, for example, let me bring another issue, and I don't mean to be contentious. When our ambassador was here 2 weeks ago, you sat down with him. He's given you a mandate now to represent the views of the Kenyans. In the same spirit, do you appreciate where the Kenyans who are saying, please speak for us? At least do you acknowledge that?
I do acknowledge.
Yeah.
And in times of crisis,
Yeah.
it's like I said, it's very hard to manage people's expectations.
Yeah.
And as a leader with your busy schedule as well, it's hard to also make decisions too.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of pandemonium that is going on.
It's a good word, yes.
and then you're being bashed.
Yeah, I know,
left and center.
Yes.
Sometimes you even sit down and think, is it worth it? Yeah. We come to represent the community on a voluntary basis.
Of course.
But I don't know whether people, when they look at the Kasa president, they are seeing the Ruto, I don't know. Because it has become as if, the Kasa president should be the one responding to the needs of the Kenyans.
Thank you.
Well, I am a person just like you. And when messages are sent on WhatsApp, I'm in those WhatsApp groups, so I'm following. So when people are bashing you right, left, and center, also I get stressed.
Yeah.
I may not be able to respond in good time because I'm processing a lot of information as the president. And then I have to, as an association, I can't just go out there and make a statement.
True.
I have to go to my team and say, this is what is going on. What do you think? And we have to come up with a resolution. We have to agree, at least by half. I can't just make a statement the way I want. I am representing a community, not John's views. Of course, I have my own personal views, but I can't just go out and say anything. But I must acknowledge, maybe we took time. However, we do not condone violence, and we sympathize with all the families that have lost loved ones. We do sympathize, and we call on the government to listen to these people, this generation, Gen Z. We need to listen to them. They have done something that has not been done before. That people coming out with no parties, they just, you see, most of the time we get a euphoria, it comes through a party. Like we got through ODM and other parties. But this one is the young people, which is quite commendable. However, we must approach these issues with thoughtfulness. And as a leader, one thing I know is being patient and not acting with haste, because you may act with haste and end up making mistakes.
Thanks, John. So, all right, Sharon, next to you. So now I first wanted to get that question out of the way, and now we can discuss wherever we want this thing to go. We've heard the statement. Yeah. And if you want to comment to that, and if you have questions for Kasa, please ask. But what do you bring to this conversation? What are your thoughts? What's going on?
Can we start with Moen first?
Yeah, Moen.
In regards to what we were talking about.
Anything, yeah, just go.
About the Kasa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you mind if we try and switch roles?
Go ahead.
If you're in John's position,
yes.
what would you do?
Made a statement in good time. And I'll tell you why. Basically is that you're hearing people are asking, where is our leadership? I think people felt a vacuum. And all in that time is to, for lack of a better word, is to pacify, because it's not going to fix the situation. Nobody's asking, come and bring us together or solve the problem. The problem will be there. It's just to say, we hear you and we speak with one voice. For example, we have access to Canberra. Kasa has established a relationship with Canberra. So I think I would release a statement simply for that purposes, because it pacifies people in the community. Because once you see the flare-ups, everybody's saying, always discuss, and continues to be quiet, many assumptions are made. So to pacify that situation, that's what I would do. It would not solve the problem, but I think that's what I did.
Probably the way this protest started, we could follow the same route, whereby we had, like, you see, as he said, it's people who are coming together.
Yes.
Bringing themselves together.
Yes.
In the situation of Kasa, I'm looking at it, I also commented in the group saying, you know, Kasa accommodates everybody. The fact that me and you are not supporting the bill, within Kasa, there's people who are still supporting.
Absolutely.
So I think it would be too harsh on Kasa if we were expecting a statement from them, because if you look at the nature of this demonstration,
yes,
it is more of people are coming together and saying we're not depending on nobody. We are bringing ourselves together.
Individuals. You're just talking about people coming as individuals. Yes.
And I've actually seen the model is up because there's WhatsApp groups other than the ones for the communities that have been existing before.
Yes.
And I think they're getting full in a day or something.
Yeah.
Because everybody's just joining.
Yeah.
So I'd say on that,
Yes.
I wouldn't be too harsh on them.
You would not. So what do you say? And I understand, I hear you, and that's good. It's a good point. So what do you think of, for example, like the New South Wales putting that out? Do you look at that as though, what does that mean to you? Does it mean that it doesn't, does it imply to you that there's, everybody agrees?
See,
or what image do you get out of that?
He has
yeah.
I'd say probably what we could expect is, and it's not a must because what you'd want him to post is his personal view. But at the same time, you see here, I'm telling you,
yes,
we're having to accommodate people because
absolutely.
Personally here I've observed there's some people who are supporting the bill.
Absolutely.
And we've
yes.
even contradicted a couple of times.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised by that.
There are people who are fully in support of this. So if we say that we are expecting Kasa to speak up about it, and these same people are still part of Kasa.
Yes.
You see.
I hear your point, Sharon. What do you think? What do you think? About all this.
I should probably not say I'm for it and not against it, just because I want to be maybe a little bit neutral. But I have some other points that don't really generalize. I'm speaking on the part of women and ladies and
with
girls.
Kasa specifically, I'm just curious.
Kasa.
Do you think it is
Kasa.
fair to expect Kasa to have spoken for the community on this matter? Or do we feel like we're being too hard on them unfairly?
I feel we're being too hard on them because it's not like just him general. He's not the one
No, we're
that
talking
we're
about
mad
Kasa.
at.
Yeah, it's not him.
Yeah, and it's not like Kasa as a
Yes.
general, but then we would have appreciated them speaking up a little bit earlier. That would have been good. But all in all, we're still all humans. Everybody has an up and a down, and I don't know. I feel like I would just be a little bit neutral on them.
Yeah, hey, that's good.
For what happened in Melbourne,
Yes.
I don't think that
What
was
happened?
the community, the one that they came together.
Yes, somebody led
organized
them.
by the
I have
society?
no idea.
No.
It wasn't. John says it wasn't.
Individuals.
No?
It was the individuals came together and they went out.
Which is good.
So you're saying it's us. We should, instead of saying you Kasa, where are you? You should be. Someone should be saying, "I'm going. Let's go tomorrow."
If you observe, that's the whole point of all of this.
Ah, got you. So
Like-
we're missing the point when we're pointing fingers at Kasa.
Yes, it's everybody's responsibility. We're not supposed to be waiting for any organization or anything. If at all it's ours, we are all into it.
Powerful.
We
Powerful.
did that back then back home. We did that for the longest time and waited to just get something to happen and waited for the first person to come up and do it. But right now it's like we're in the 21st century. Everybody's like
So some of us
out for
maybe are thinking
themselves.
old school. Maybe we're thinking an older.
Yeah.
We're not getting the spirit of this riot.
It is everybody to
Actually,
protest.
just have a look at what is happening in Kenya. You tell me
There's no-
any organization
that's behind all
is
that.
behind
Exactly.
anything.
Yeah.
So in South Australia, we should be. So if I want to take my voice out there, is I just go out there or call people and say we are going.
If you see these groups
Start
that
a
are being
group.
formed in WhatsApp and you really
Yeah.
want to
Get
join,
in there.
Get in.
Get in there.
And the communication that
And the
happens.
links are in the WhatsApp group.
They're all in there. You just go join it. Go march. We're starting an Adelaide one.
And I think people also need to understand the role of Kasa. People
Speak
are
to
saying
that.
Kasa is just about galas
I
and
know.
stuff like that. But I hope these are not the same people who come to us when they have issues and we have to write letters of support.
course, recommendations.
We do those a lot.
Of course,
And sometimes somebody wants it right now and maybe I'm busy, I'm on a shift and stuff like that. And they
They
want
need
a
the
letter
letter.
immediately.
That's true.
And we have offered a lot of support with people who have immigration issues. These are the issues that we want to support our community with the issues in South Australia. But you see, when you look at the finance bill, it's not that we support the finance bill by keeping quiet.
Of course, yeah.
It's just that this is not a Kasa issue. However, we provide a forum for people to air their views. What our constitution says, we can air the views of our people. But are they giving us the views? We have provided them with the mediums. Like we have a survey that is going on. If you put your feedback there, what I can do as the president of Kasa is make sure that information reaches Ruto. Because I have access to the ambassador.
True.
Oh.
Yes, I will present that information to the ambassador with the matters finance bill. This is what the people of South Australia want. They don't want to be taxed when they are sending money home. I don't want to be taxed when I send my father or my mom some money home. I don't want to be taxed.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I should go out there and picket as Kasa. I can picket as John. But Kasa is an organization. As an organization, we work in close contact with many stakeholders, including the government. So if you burn the bridges,
Yeah, that's going to be.
are you going to be able
gonna
to
be
achieve anything?
No.
So
No,
here,
as an organization.
I want to say something. So someone has put a note here, and I like what they've said. So they've said that maybe I've got it wrong, the question wrong. So someone has put out and said that a general statement showing solidarity with the aspirations of our young people and citizens and supporting their right to peaceful protest as provided in the Constitution, condemning violence would have sufficed. So what the point is saying is that, and I think maybe I was misunderstood. I wasn't saying Kasa to join in and condemn or to take a side.
No, that's what we've been asked.
To
reject.
Take a side.
But you see,
ideally, that's the expectation.
Like that's what everybody.
but isn't that what
like.
support would? You see, for example, the New South Wales thing we
it's
read.
solidarity of what if ideally maybe you're trying to make it a neutral state.
That was somebody
Yeah.
saying.
Say in
Then you're
solidarity
picking
of the
a
finance
side.
bill, you don't say if you're supporting
Yeah.
or if you're rejecting.
So you leave it sort of.
Because you see, the finance bill in entirety
Yes.
has good clauses. So it is not for me as a person, that
Yes.
this is my position. I would be going to the clauses that affect the citizens, that the people are talking about. The things that are what do you say, are detrimental to the citizens, the ones that they're demonstrating about. Those are the things I would go into the finance bill and tell the president, we need this and this changed. And this is our position. For example, people in South Australia, what is your needs? We need to present those needs. Somebody is saying here on YouTube that, are you sure you'll be able to send our messages to the ambassador? I speak to the ambassador at will.
We can do that.
And
That's
our
not
ambassador
difficult.
can speak to anyone else. He's very open. Those of you who interacted with him at the gala,
To, like,
he even took
citizens,
numbers
not
for
just-
so many
Oh, yeah.
people.
Okay.
They'll talk
You
to
need
you.
him, ring him.
Okay.
Actually, ring him. He'll
Yeah.
pick it up.
So you can give his number, like for.
No,
Not here. Okay.
But
Okay,
our
just
ambassador is
asking.
accessible.
It's accessible.
Okay.
So someone saying
Okay.
that they are not sure whether we pass the message.
Yeah.
In fact, we have a leadership forum that we have. We have collected all leaders in South Australia. We are providing a white paper to the ambassador. I think you are part of that.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yes,
We are providing a white paper to the ambassador about the issues that South Australia needs. The Kenyans in South Australia. So
Yeah.
when people are saying we can't reach the ambassador, this is a false thing because we will. And he has actually asked for the information. So with regards to matters finance bill, we can send that information as soon as tomorrow. But picketing
do
on
you think
WhatsApp,
maybe-
calling names,
Okay. Do you think maybe because a lot of people have been saying it from way before and things haven't been done as the way as they should? Maybe that's why people are a little bit.
yeah, there's that
there's like
misconception,
they're like, oh, I've done it before. They
Yeah.
never
It never
did
happened.
nothing. Yeah, so I'm just not gonna do it again. Maybe that's why.
You're very right. You're very
Yeah.
right. So there's that complacency because they have had a bad experience in the past. So
Yeah.
that is there. But this is a new leadership. We just need to give the new leadership the benefit of the doubt, you know. But if you don't want to even give them space,
Yeah.
you are bashing them right, left, and center, people will give up. You know, I can just put a message on WhatsApp and say, I don't want to go on with this job. Those people who are talking there, they can come and lead. They give us the
But
ideas.
ideally, don't you think that's what's happening right now? Because people have questions.
Yeah.
And
they
they're
need
so
answers.
tired. And they're so tired of the same things happening over and over and over and over again.
And
so they're
ideally,
like,
I think it's also part
yeah,
of your job to know how
we
you
want,
need to
like,
answer
And we are
something
doing
new.
that, and that's why I said we have a group. In fact, all the presidents who have
Former
been
presidents.
presidents of Kasa, former presidents of Kasa, business people, we have collected all stakeholders within South Australia. We are gathering the views, representative of each group, students, like that. We are gathering opinions and trying to see what are the issues at hand. And now this is a new thing that has been injected to that, the finance bill. We are going to listen to what the people are saying, the views. We are collecting views through these forums. Even like tonight, type in your comment there.
Yeah.
Because this is a way, a medium of collecting the views. So we are in this WhatsApp group. We are seeing what people feelings are, and people are very angry. We can gather that. But I would just urge our people, even if you are angry, don't make it look so personal.
Well, that is true. And I
Yeah.
think that's where we go wrong. And I'm liking your thinking, and maybe it's a generation issue here. I'm assuming I'm a little bit older than you are, but I like your perspective. What I need to hear from you, Moen, is, so in your perspective, assuming you speak, and perhaps you might speak for someone in your age bracket, how do you view Kasa in a matter like this? So would you have expected nothing? Or because there's an expectation, and we probably need to define that. What you personally, would you expect anything? Ama, you're like, why even bothering Kasa?
Actually, I've been having a conversation with very many young people. And
Yes.
people have ideas.
What are they saying?
And do you know, bizarrely, none of them ever mentioned Kasa.
Amazing.
Because most people had the idea that we should probably even try and go to Canberra,
And just
and I
protest.
did not hear anybody mention Kasa.
Not even, do they know there's a Kasa?
Yeah,
Oh,
by now most people do.
Okay,
By now most
okay.
people
It
do, yeah.
exists.
And it's so, all right, so then maybe it's not such a big deal. So now, where do you guys want to go with this conversation now? Now that I think we can put the Kasa issue. So is it okay for us to lay that aside for now?
Maybe look at the comments from the people.
Yeah, if you just, I can't see, see if there's any comment. But in the meantime, the broader conversation now. So here we are, our Kenyans are hurting. We are hurting.
Yeah.
You've expressed that we may not even agree on which side of the bill we stand. What do we do? How do we have this conversation? What's in that space? In a productive manner or constructive manner, what can we do?
I think what's happening with us and compared to, say, the people who are before us, people are forgetting the young people that are there now. Information is spreading way much faster.
Of course, yeah.
Back in the day,
They have no phones. They have
the
no
communication
We were still using
was
fax.
Yeah.
We were using fax machines.
Yeah, letters and like.
Okay, with that, we are also exposed to a lot of information outside Kenya.
Yeah.
On top of that, we have expectations as well, even as a people. So ideally, we are having this generation that just, ideally, as I said again for John, in every situation where you're expected to lead, you have a lot of people who have questions, and you need to know how you're going to answer them. So right now, even when we're talking, even this finance bill, I've talked about it even in my socials. I said it's nothing major. People are just talking about, we wanted accountability of the last one.
The last one, yeah, that's true.
You
which is
can
true.
take us to the next one, and you're not telling
Before.
us.
You haven't
Well, the other
shown us
one's
what
gone.
you were doing with the other. Yeah.
So it's basically an issue of accountability. It's just we want accountability. Do you know how bad it feels, or how bad it is, when even you're in another country and you observe? The leaders don't tell their young people to go to other countries to work. And even the politics is around that. The politics is around how many jobs are we creating? How much are we improving in real estate? How comes our conversation is, you guys go out there,
Yeah.
get us the dollars, and bring them back? It's making no sense.
There was even a conversation with a politician who, I don't want to maybe get into that. But it was like, why are you taking your kids to Australia? Why are you selling your land? Why are you doing all this? And kids are just doing nothing there. And it's crazy because you hear so much negativity from back home, and they don't even know the struggle that people are going through here. Like, you don't even know what. Anyway, it's
And you know what's bizarre is you see the difference of generations. So now it's people make us wonder how even our MPs get paid more than doctors.
Wow.
So we're wondering, we've grown up being told you need to go to school, you need to get a good job,
go to uni,
you go to uni and do that, all of that.
get a nice
But
job.
now, ideally, when now people are even getting there, you're looking at the doctors out there and you're like, the doctors are complaining.
Struggling.
And ideally, the amount of money that you're hearing is in the country. You still have, these are the questions you're asking. When you're told this kind of money is coming into Kenya,
It's not adding up.
And then you look at, for the escalation of this demonstrations,
Yeah.
it's like what happened, was it yesterday? So you've seen mobilization of about 1 million youths who are planning to walk to parliament. And then these guys decide to
Who actually
still pass
walked
the,
in.
the thing. Myself as a young person, I'd really noticed that probably this government doesn't care at all. And for us, I think we're also having people who are embracing that we are one and we are equal. There's less of tribalism.
Oh, I
can
get what you
expect
mean.
because
Yes.
and also the fact that we've been having these national schools whereby people are interacting, you're having people from different tribes and all that. So right now there's less of less tribalism. So,
Amongst the young people.
yeah.
Yes.
And the young people are fighting towards the same thing, and this is what I'm saying. As much as people might want Kasa to be involved,
Yes.
most young people want to be heard. And this association by groups,
Yes.
that's not.
Okay, what do you mean by that? Or any groups, any groups? Because when you mentioned groups,
if
it,
you
it
observe
painted a
even
picture
online
for
and
me.
where this came from
Yes.
on Twitter,
Yes.
there's no leader.
Absolutely none.
There's no, people are not under any organization.
When it comes to
It's people, this is real rage, I'd call it that way.
yeah, it's rage.
It's real rage.
And we're not saying, I don't think you're saying, let's do away with Kasa. That's not the issue.
No.
We're just saying that in the
this
context
matter,
of this
Yeah.
matter, let's not make it about Kasa.
Yeah. Let's not make it about Kasa. It's not Kasa as the people. It is what is happening back home as...
Us as individuals.
as-
But is it a
as-
deflection?
as
So for
a
the,
group.
okay, speak to the person who is saying, where is Kasa? What are they doing? They're not speaking for us. We haven't heard them. How would you speak to that person? Because John is saying, hey, I'm an individual. Everybody else in Kasa is an individual. We have other responsibilities. Now, you on the outside who's oriented differently in terms of your understanding, this is not about a group. This is a headless group, tribal-less, faceless. It's just the young people with rage. Speak to that person who keeps coming back every day and saying, where are you, Kasa? And I think it's like a deflection because it makes us zone in and we're spending our energy here, but maybe this energy needs to be directed elsewhere.
I've told you, I've had this conversation with somebody who really supports it. And you see the same energy that we're using to argue it. This guy is arguing the same,
Yes.
that it should be passed. So when we're having an organization like Kasa ideally is supposed to embrace everybody.
Yeah, of course.
And in such matters whereby we're having contradictive
Views.
it's way much better if they desist. So I'd just say they give what Kasa could do as individuals,
Yes.
and it's not a must for them to do so.
Yeah.
What they could do is the individuals themselves to probably post
Get out there.
on their
Yeah.
own pages.
Get that, like...
If that's the expectation,
that's
if probably
yeah.
say you have people who are looking up to you,
Like we're in the
as
we're
an
in a different
organization,
world.
I don't know, because
Okay.
if we're having, say, somebody like the guy I've told you about,
Yes.
and this guy, trust me, he will argue with his last sweat and blood, and he will argue it needs to pass.
Correct.
So if you're having such kind of people, how about we just keep it neutral and then we just continue with our course?
But everybody has a voice right now. It's not like back then when you have to wait for your mom or your dad or your uncle or somebody older to, speak for you. Right now, the youth are coming out and they're speaking their word. They've been learning, they've been going to school, they know what they're doing. So they're coming out and saying, we're not cool with this, we're not good with this. We want something better, we want something different. So I feel like,
Wow.
we should hear what they're saying.
I know. It's
Just simple as that.
I just find it to be, John, and I don't know what you think, but in the conversations, like every time someone has posted a point, it somehow Kasa is mentioned, and I think maybe we have misplaced our energies. I don't know.
I must say, I don't know. There's some form of vendetta against my team. I have seen so many Kasa administration for the time I've been in Australia, and there has been crisis after crisis in Kenya, but there is no Kasa administration that has been put to task like we have
As a group.
And this is even during the gala planning. Other administrations have planned galas, but when we were planning the gala, we got bashed right, left, and center. We were never given breathing space. It has been very difficult for my team, and I sympathize with my whole team because they soak up a lot. We are people with families. I am a young father myself, but sometimes it's even hard when I go home and even talking to my wife about sometimes feeling like giving up. And I know most of the Kasa leaders are like that. You feel sometimes, is it worth it? Because you are being bashed, nobody pays you. It's like they have employed you. They are castigating you like they have employed you. Yes, we were elected, but I want to remind everyone, this is a voluntary position, and I think it's fair to treat these leaders with respect because they do all this for free. In fact, we end up using our resources and our own time. We spend a lot of time for the community, and people expect us to act with speed. They expect us to act at the speed of sound. Now, like I said, look, we have been in office since November last year. It's not even a year, but I know some of them can't wait for the time to end. Let me finish by saying this. Some of the attacks have appeared personal. Okay. I have even received a lot of inbox, people asking me, do you have an issue with so-and-so? Okay. Because of the way they are attacking you. Well, I don't know why, and somebody told me that when you are doing a good job, you get a lot of attacks. So it means we are doing a good job. And I want to encourage all the leaders of Kasa. We are doing a good job. Let's keep doing what we are doing. Let's not give up. And let us work for the community, for the mandate that we are given by the people. And you will find most of the people making a lot of noise and castigating the leadership, they never attend our events. They may probably not be even members.
All right, I hear you, John. I think, wow, my next question was going to be, is this personal? But I don't need to ask you that. But whoa, okay. All right, I think we're stepping out into a bigger issue, and then it's personal. Oh, wow, okay. So,
it's complicated.
Wow, that's a lot. I'm glad you've
and it's not just for me as the president. It includes my wife and my kids.
That's all right. John,
we work together as a team. Yeah. Like now, I know they are watching me, and my wife prayed for me when I was coming here.
Amen.
Because for me, God comes first. And even the way I talk to people, I have to put some element of godliness. I don't attack people with vendetta. I try to be calm because I know I don't just represent the government here. My citizenship is in heaven. Some people said we gained our citizenship and forgot about Kenya. I know I may have the citizenship of Australia, but I also have the government of heaven. And therefore, I know I have God's backing, even though people are bashing me. I know, and some of them are even Christians, and this is why you find people sometimes feel we need to deal with, isolate issues, isolate the leader from issues. Because if you combine, like now, I am not the president of Kenya. So when people are personalizing this, like making me like look like Ruto or his proxy, it is not fair. Because I haven't even talked to Ruto myself. I don't even support most of the policies, you know, as an individual. But here, asking me to speak for the community, for Kasa. Kasa is an organization. It has its integrity and a name to protect. And I can't bring my personal views to the leadership of the association. I must isolate both.
John, it's wow. This is everybody who's watching this. You can see John is passionate about this and he takes it personally. I didn't want this to be an apologetic for Kasa. This is not a place where Kasa is not on trial.
It's what it looks like.
And I don't know why.
We're still at it.
Yes, you feel like we want to hammer out something.
Sounding like you're about to deviate, but
I was going. Let me say what I was going to say, but don't lose that. I'm not going to lose you. Just hang on to that thought. Don't lose that thought. But I wanted to say is that I would say, or maybe I should put in. Let me put in a question. So when people say Kasa, you're quiet, do you hear like they're talking John speak? Is that what you hear? Because when I hear someone say, where is Kasa? Kasa is quiet. I don't see that they're asking John or Emily or Edu. They're just saying, hey, Kasa. They're saying, hey, Kasa, where are you? But I think from the other end, if I'm correct, it really hits a nerve.
You see, if you read the constitution of Kasa,
yes,
it says the president is the spokesperson of the association.
Correct, that's a spokesperson.
Most people see the president as the face of the association. So whatever I say, whatever I do, people don't see John, they see Kasa. Other people, other members of the team may do some other things, may say things in groups, but it will not be viewed with the same weight as if it's the one speaking. So, well, when actually some of the issues, what makes it look so personal is because I receive a lot of inboxes.
Correct.
After some comments are made.
Personal?
And yes, people inbox me and asking me, do you have an issue with so-and-so? Why are they attacking you like this? Other people telling me, John, maybe you can do this. Some people even send posters. This is what is happening in Victoria. Why are you not saying anything? I get lots of those. Like I've gotten so many inboxes this week. And thank you to those who also support. There's some people who just inbox me to support and tell me, John, we are praying for you. And I highly appreciate this kind of people who even ring me to offer me some advice, to offer me some solace, because it's difficult being a leader, and especially a Kasa leader at this time.
So and you respond to all of them?
Yes.
Like
I do.
Or most of them?
Almost
like,
all of them. No, in fact, I respond to everyone. If there's anyone out there who has written to me and I have not responded, they can say so. I do. And they know, the people I'm talking about, they know.
That's
because
amazing.
they've been inboxing me. And I do respond to everyone. I don't shun away from my responsibility as the leader. I'm accessible. But then whatever people are asking me to do, let them ask me and give me the opportunity to do it in a wise way that will not harm the association. Remember, this is something that is happening in the short term. We have long-term goals as an association. If we burn the bridges now, how are we going to progress in future? There are so many other things that we have to do as a community. For example, like I said, there's a blueprint that we are working with the ambassador for the best interest of the people of South Australia. So if I start like bashing the ambassador as Kasa, will he listen to Kasa? We need to also ensure that the way we deal with issues, the dialogue we engage in, it is constructive. We can criticize, but it depends on the language, the way you put it. Everyone has a right to pick it. I have, but the way you put it, and picketing on WhatsApp, it will not help anybody. But if you bring those issues, tell me as the Kasa president, I'll put in writing, I'll send it to Canberra, it might probably reach Ruto. You never know.
All right, Moen, you're going to say something, so I hope we didn't lose you.
And thank you, Emmanuel, joined us.
We'll get you. Well, Emmanuel, I haven't missed you. We're coming to you. Moen, you're going to say something.
With what's happening with John, don't you think it's the same thing that's happening with Ruto? It's
How
just-
so?
It's not you, it's just what you're doing.
Let's hear you.
Yes, I've told you.
Explain to us, yes.
It's not the
When you're in
person.
such a position, a lot of people have questions, and it's up to you
Come
to
with
know how
answers.
you give them the answers.
Why are those questions directed to that person? Is it because of the personality or position?
No, because of the
Your
position.
Thank you.
position.
So that comes with the
Yeah.
territory.
Yeah, it's something you signed up for, first of all.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that's why I find this statement so offensive
Which one?
about Kasa being a voluntary job. Because first of all,
I like that. Tell me
anybody
more.
going into it,
Uh-huh.
you do acknowledge that it is.
Uh-huh.
So you do acknowledge that it is.
Wait, but how's that like offensive?
No, that's what, yeah, that's what he's explaining.
to me, because you know, this is a sport of responsibility.
Yeah.
So when you are signing up for it, you are like, I know I'm the perfect guy for this job.
Yeah.
I know everything it comes with. The whatever he's talking about, I had a chat with Rogers.
Yes,
When he was
the leader, former
Yeah.
leader, yes.
he told me he was facing the same thing. So ideally, I was expecting, if Rogers is saying that's the same thing he was facing, when John was going into it, he'd have consulted from Rogers, know what it entails, so that you know what you're getting yourself into. So now, what's happening, and it's unfortunate some people are not good with their communication.
True.
And again, at times, we're also human, they might not find you in a good day.
Yeah.
But I think this is what even being a leader is. Because now, this goes back to, there's a lot of people who have questions and they need answers.
And you occupy that position. So they're not looking at the individual, they're talking to
Exactly. That's what
whoever's sitting in that chair.
They're not texting any random person about the matter in question.
Is the
They're
person
texting
occupying the seat?
President of Kasa. So, in one way or another, for those 2 years, you'll have to bear with the stress.
Are you implying that
Comes
it's
with-
not necessarily personal?
I wouldn't term it as personal, because personally I've had there's at times I've been bitter about Kasa and I've even gone outburst on them. And at that time, that's when we started engaging with Rogers. So at least the questions that I had, I was given some answers.
Yes.
So I was a bit at peace. And the way I still also came across was not, if I look back, it was not the most pleasant way. But at that time, you see, this rage, however I put it across, it might have been probably not nice to somebody else. But at the end of the day, because you're the one who's occupying that seat, you'll have to come up with a way of answering.
But do you think that's fair to the person who's on the
Well,
seat?
it's not about being
Fair
fair.
enough.
Because, you know, you
It's
cannot you cannot
the job.
control adults. It's hard.
Yeah, but you gotta be human and think, like, if you put yourself in the same shoes, if you're gonna be like the president, right? You know what comes with it, right? But then you gotta
That's
think
it.
like, you know,
So-
I'm human. I'm trying to do this and this and this. I'm doing my best. I'm handling this and this and this. But then there's
Then
other
ideally,
things that are kind of
then you see-
out of your
You see what's
situation,
happening?
like
you should just give them answers.
him right
Give
now.
them the answers.
But then how is he supposed to know the answers right now? And it's out of his situation, like, especially
Because
with
he
things
said
happening
people
back
are
home.
reaching out to him.
Back home. But
Yeah,
with-
just give them an answer. Tell them
Yeah.
straightforward. This is what CASA does, and this is not within our policy or within our jurisdiction
Yeah.
or whichever.
okay.
And that's as easy as that.
That's it.
Yeah,
And it's done.
and that's factual.
Yeah, that's heavy. I think what I hear you saying, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but this is what I hear, is that if you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen. In a
That's
sense.
what Ruto is being told. Right now.
It's leadership.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
If you cannot
It's
handle the
basically
heat,
thing.
get out of the kitchen.
Yeah.
Anyway, Emmanuel,
Yeah.
welcome. Thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you. Would you please introduce yourself? And I don't know how we're tracking. The guys online, if you want to give us questions, bring those questions around so we stay on task.
Oh, sure, yeah. I'm Emmanuel Kevintio. I'm currently the student rep for Kasa, and it's a pleasure to be here. And to begin with, it's to condole with the families of the people who were killed yesterday during the demonstration and in Wigidurai. It's quite a tragedy that happened, and also to reject the finance bill. Yeah, thank you.
Straight to the point.
Well,
They're not beating about the bush. Wow. I know. Wow. Okay. Gen Z is here. All right. Thank you.
Hitting on the leg.
I love it that you brought up, and I thought about this and I totally forgot that I should have written it down. But do we really have a moment to remember those who died in this struggle? They didn't deserve to die. Okay,
we can do a moment of silence.
Yeah, like we did. It hurts a lot when you hear. For me, that's when I started struggling. When you hear their lives lost, you know it could happen, but when it happens, it does hit you hard because it wasn't supposed to be. So for us, would like to show some respect to those people whose lives are gone, because they're fighting for us. They are fighting for us, and as in any revolution, this happens. So how about a moment? I don't know if this is a good time, but let's just have a moment of silence as we think of those people. Thank you. Wow. So, Emmanuel, the things that we've been talking about, we did address a little bit about what Kasa is all about. You know, the questions people have been targeted, and you're part of Kasa leadership right now as a student rep. People have been raising questions and saying, Kasa, where are you? You're too quiet. Please guide us, direct us. Why don't you make a statement? Any thoughts around that?
Sure, yeah. Well, for Kasa, Kasa is an institution governed by a constitution, and Kasa represents people of different ideologies and backgrounds. So, with regards to this finance bill, you'll find that there are people who are supporting it and there are people who are rejecting it. So, for Kasa to take a stand and say we are rejecting it, it will have violated the rules or the voice of the people who are voicing and saying they are towards it. So for that, Kasa would only take their views and present them to the commission. But to present Kasa, what can Kasa do right now is give a stance on, not a stance, it's just to condemn what is happening right now. Back home and condemn the shootings that are happening and uphold, request the protesters to have peaceful protest and such like things here.
Do you think that Kasa, being that they represent us, say for example, if our president came to South Australia, his contact point would be Kasa, right?
Yeah, sure.
If anybody that wanna, that's how, because they can't come looking for Moe, they can't come looking for you. They will be, hey, where they can, they look for Kasa.
Yeah.
From that perspective, the fact that they collectively represent
The people.
our concerns,
Yeah.
not they represent us. It's not their views. We bring them. We say we want our passports to be brought here, so we bring it to them. He may not need a passport, but he can go there and say, the people of Australia, they want you to bring consular services. In this matter, do you think there would have been room for them to carry that grievance or what the people are saying either way? Or what do you think? Because that was discussed here earlier.
I think they would Kasa would collectively say the people of South Australia reject this finance bill or reject the matter that is ongoing to the public or to the community, and that would be the stand as at that time. But as at now, you will find that people will have different opinions.
Of course, yeah.
Which
All
then
right.
you will then be left at how do I present the grievances of the people of South Australia. So should Kasa take a stand as by itself, Kasa saying it rejects the finance bill, or it rejects the motion that is going, or it just keeps it at neutral and gives its views as not igniting any fire between both sides?
Yeah, a suggestion was made by Moen before when he said that it's a more of a statement of you sort of make a statement of solidarity of some sort that is neutral. You're not rejecting or accepting, but you're standing with the plight of the Kenyans that are going through that. That's what was discussed. So, wow. It's 9:40. I don't know if there are any comments that are important there, but I have a question. Everybody wants to bring something. I do have a question I was going to ask.
Maybe before I make comments, I would just love to say that we are working as Kasa to represent the people, which is our mandate. And like Emmanuel said, our mandate is to listen to the views of the people, and there's a process as to how we amalgamate those views into a Kasa proposal or proposition. So if this is a big issue, we might need to call all the members, and they have to be registered members of Kasa, and then we would pass in an AGM, special AGM. Now, for simple things, that one we can do as a committee, a resolution, and that will do. So there are things that we are doing and I would like to highlight. We mentioned about the consular services. Those ones, the ambassador mentioned at the gala and gave us an opportunity to gather statistics.
That was an example. Sorry, John, I hope I didn't mislead you. I was just using it as an
saying,
example. All right.
That is one thing.
Yes.
The other
I'm
things
aware.
that we are agitating for, which we discussed with the leaders, I think you are part of that. For example, we want to agitate about the student visas. We do find that our Kenyan populace, we speak very good English. However, when coming to Australia, we are subjected to strict English requirements. This is something that we want to agitate through the ambassador. Another thing, look at Philippines, look at Vanuatu, India. They have bilateral trade with Australia, such that these guys can access subclass 462, working holiday visa, and can come and work here. As Kasa, we are trying to pressure or to engage with the government to come up with such an agreement, such that our nurses in Kenya can have an opportunity to come and work here.
Sorry, John, to interrupt you. I feel like you're really going into an apologetic for Kasa, and at this point...
No, I was just trying to highlight that the things that we do.
And we're not saying... don't feel like we're here to be interrogated.
It's only that some people are saying we want to do the gala.
No,
and
don't worry.
But
don't focus on that.
That we are doing which are major.
If we start getting into the details of what Kasa... We don't want to make this podcast about Kasa. Let's focus on... in a particular matter. I think they're saying in this concept, you're not listening to us, but you do these things. So they're not saying you don't do anything. I think it's a contrast of whoever thought you should have spoken is saying, you're so quiet, but you do these other things. But don't go down that rabbit hole. Don't be pulled. It's called a red herring. You get distracted and you go in a direction that, and now we're here in the defense of Kasa, and that's not why we're not here. So, what was I going to ask? I had a question. Yes. What is a way for what can we do given the situation that we are in and the conversations are going? The Kenyans still feel like we need to have something. How do we? When I say something, a protester. People feel like they need to express themselves, and they feel, and there's a group that feels like somebody needs to tell us what to do. What can we do? Is that in our place, or should we just go back home and let this thing organically happen, Moen? Or how do we do that? Or
we're here.
Yes, like now as we leave here, can we go back to the community and say, guys, on Friday, let's meet in this place and give everybody a chance?
There's already a group.
I
Yeah.
think also it's good to highlight that there's some breaking news.
Yes.
Ruto has declined to sign the bill. So I
Awesome.
don't think demonstration or protest are the way to go now.
Oh, good.
I think right
Oh, that's
now-
what you were trying to show me.
I was
I'm
trying to
sorry,
show
I
you.
couldn't read that.
Yes, so
That's-
these are breaking news.
But
He has returned the bill, so there's an opportunity now, and he has said, according to the news that are coming in,
Yes.
that he will do some changes to the bill.
No, you see, that's you
Yeah.
people are losing the plot.
Tell
We're
her.
not talking about amending.
Yes.
That thing is total failure. It should
be dropped.
Dead.
into
So
Completely.
Yeah.
the opinion is not to amend anything.
Nah.
Yes,
It's
there's
just
no room for
calm
that.
people
We should go back to
Reject.
the one that we had
Yeah.
before. Let's work on
No,
that
the
one
question
before.
should be, what is it that it was in that bill that warrants someone to kill someone? Like, what is it that was in that bill? We're talking of events that have happened yesterday, between yesterday and tonight.
Oh, I
Before
see
he
what
has
you're
made that
Uh-huh.
decision not to sign it. What was there that warrants someone to?
Kill somebody
Yeah.
for it.
And the rage right now is
And-
more about the deaths.
And you can imagine.
It's evolved to
It's
something
not
else.
even about the bills
but
right
yesterday
now.
it was about rejecting it totally.
Now people have died for
Now
it.
people have died for it.
Yeah.
And the conversation, and then the president
People are
comes
mad.
and says, "I'm going to make amends." Is put a hold
Nobody
on
wants
it.
to know amendments. That
And
thing.
also, you can give an assessment from the speech he gave yesterday after the riots.
A very arrogant
That
speech, man.
was
It's
A
difficult.
very
He didn't even
arrogant
care. Like it was just.
nah.
Some people have said it
Yo.
was Chat GPT.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Generated.
I saw that.
Very
I saw
arrogant speech.
like word for
The
word.
same thing
It was
that
on
happened yesterday.
ChatGPT word for word.
Like, do you know how it sounds? It doesn't sound right.
That was.
You called you
was
a
hard.
bunch of
Anyway.
criminals, so you should not
That was
be
hard.
negotiating with.
Perhaps he spoke
It
too
just
soon.
sounded
I don't know.
heartless.
Because
Like
that-
it's like it was just.
No, ideally, everybody was waiting for his word.
But not that. Not what
But
he
he
said.
started acting with a gun before his mouth.
Yeah.
It's just sad.
So
It's
now
just
that's
sad.
the anger. Like,
People are mad.
So there is no room for like negotiation. It's just dropping the whole bill.
people just want the bill down.
So demonstrate.
Yeah, there's a group that
And do you know
I'm pretty sure
here's
that's
the
gonna
question.
demonstrate.
Why are we avoiding the conversation about the previous bill? Like, let's go back. Let's
Which
go
one?
back.
The finance act?
Yeah, the previous
2020.
one. Let's go talk about the budget.
23,
Let's talk
24.
about the expenditure. How that money was spent. How much that money is bringing back in. Then that's the conversation we want, because we can't be moving on. He promised he won't be taking debts, and that's the problem. Now, back in the day, it's only the media stations that used to have these videos and they have the evidence, and it's actually even hard to trace the history of these people, because if the media stations have not uploaded them, they're the ones who have them. Right now, people have phones. People recording these people talking on their
Everything.
phones.
Exactly.
This guy is doing the
Everything.
contrary of what he had promised. And that's the thing I'm telling you. There's a difference in generations, because the generation right now is more informed than the one that was there before. Right now, people are recalling, or people have videos, people have
Yeah.
recordings of him saying, "This is what he will do. This is what he will do." But he's doing the contrary. He said he was bashing the previous government because of the taxes, saying they don't know what they're doing to Kenyans.
And then now.
Now he's saying here's the thing: the arrogance in this people. When people are complaining about the taxes, he said what? He is going to make sure by the time he leaves, it's going to be at 22%. People are complaining, is it 15 or 16 right now? He will leave when it's at 22%. This is the arrogance. And ideally, what's happening is, us we believe he's supposed to be working for us. You see that whole idea of idolizing people? I don't think that's going to work with us. And that's why you're seeing it's
Everybody's
hard to
working right
decide
now,
who's going
yeah.
to lead this to lead this right now. So this is not the same ball game that used to be played. Because right now, what could have happened if we had Raila, obviously,
I know, yeah.
Don't even go there. Oh my
And it
god.
makes it easy to quench.
Not
When you have a
even.
leader, you can silence him quickly. I think that's one of the things. Because you just
Yeah.
pull him and you put something in their pocket and they...
Yeah.
Right.
On to the next.
So, well, are we Are we answering the community about a potential thing, even symbolically, process? I don't know. Because,
Well,
yes, go ahead.
when it comes, we gave a statement earlier in the day. As Kasa, we do not condone any form of violence from whichever way,
Yes.
whether it's coming from protesters or from government. And we also sympathize with all the families. We send our condolences. The people who have lost lives. We also saw, like, I don't know whether it's last night, there was some skirmishes also in Githurai. And I don't know whether this I substantiated, but I had many people lost their lives. So this kind of violence we really don't want to see. We want to hear constructive dialogue. Like now the bill has been rejected by the president.
It's not been rejected. It's been taken aback. Just for gimmicks.
I hope he rejected it, because why we are here and why we are having this angry conversation on WhatsApp and everywhere is because of that bill. And even in the Bible it says, if there's anything that will prevent you from seeing heaven, you better cut it off. So I would say, if there's anything that is preventing the progress of Kenya, if I was Ruto, I would listen to the people and I would end it. And maybe engage people, because I don't know whether people are also engaged when it came to this bill, or it was just done in Parliament.
This is they're just arrogant. They don't even, I don't think they even care.
Yeah, so for us, from where we stand now, things have changed, because now the bill has been rejected by the president. He has not signed it. So we need to now focus on the next course of action and how we can best address this issue, and what our position will be now. It's a different ball game altogether.
Is it?
I know in Melbourne they did. Because in Melbourne they had like a whole march, and then they were trying to do, I think, something in Adelaide as well.
Like now, because
it's been rejected.
Yeah, the bill, we can say, is the protagonist of this.
But
whole
then,
issue.
is that what that
it is
means?
no longer an issue in terms of it has not passed. So because it has been rejected, we need to know what will be the next.
But it has birthed the problems. The deaths. This has birthed the deaths.
If
He
at all he
authorized
really
the
wants
deaths of these people.
Yeah, if at all he'd really want to start renegotiating, the first move he'd have ever done was to cancel that thing in totality.
Beforehand.
Completely.
And these are issues now that we can put on paper and send to Canberra to go to.
How long is that going to take?
We can do it as soon as Friday, depending on whether.
But how many people are going to go through? Okay.
Yeah, because right now,
online,
I feel like
right now, I think views will be coming from everywhere. Stakeholders. Let me tell you something. You see, all those people in the streets, they do not present anything. They will just go demonstrate. We need something presented, and I hope that group can organize itself, come up with a white paper that they can present. This is what we want. Even if it's one line saying drop the whole bill altogether, but something presented to the president. And that's what we are going to present as well. We're going to present to Canberra what are the views of our people, and present this is what the people want. The people of South Australia, the Moen here says reject the bill in totality.
Reject.
Sharon as well. So if these are the views of the Kenyans in South Australia, we put them on paper, send them to Canberra.
So should we start a group and then just start
we can still
having
communicate
people
on the WhatsApp.
put their hands up?
There's groups in plenty.
I've heard
There's
groups.
so many groups.
I've heard there are groups.
Is.
Do you mind if I just ask how many Kenyans are in South Australia?
Good question.
During the last census, it was determined that there are 2,000 Kenyans
Roughly
born
2,000.
from Kenya.
It's way
2,000.
more.
If you combine that with the kids who are born here, it could be almost 3,000.
Yeah.
Let's work with 2,000.
Definitely way more.
What do you
But
No, I'm trying to imagine.
you got the groups. There was one group that was like 800.
We had everybody on this. We could get at least 1,000. How much of 1,000 people is good enough?
It's good. Yeah.
Would there be a benefit? What would be the benefit of a protest? So, for example, Melbourne
Peaceful.
No. What would be the point? That's what I'm asking.
Me too. I'm asking the
Let's get. What's the point today?
I've argued that I've had a conversation with people about it, And I think the best place here is if we could all go to Canberra. If we could all show
If
up.
it were possible, if we would go there.
If we could all show
Okay.
up
In this,
to Canberra.
because now we're protesting to our
To
embassy.
the consulate, yeah.
Yeah, we're presenting our grievance, and it's relevant and all of that.
Yeah. Because
Has
we don't
it
have,
show-
any,
it
we don't
shows
have
like it's
offices.
like
Has
Canberra.
anyone
Something.
protested in Canberra so far?
I haven't seen.
I don't think Canberra has a
Kenyan community.
Yeah.
No, but nobody has traveled there.
But
the people in New
go
South
from
Wales
Melbourne
haven't.
to because it's
Have
closer,
they?
right?
Have they done it? So nobody has. Do you want to be the first South Australia, led by Kasa?
We could.
We can even mobilize the
Yeah.
whole community in the whole country.
We just get buses.
You can just get back.
It's-
Yeah, and then go.
Like you
Yeah.
say, this is grassroots.
I
I
am
think, right?
ready.
It's grassroots, right? So
Yeah.
if we do that, I don't know, but. What would the benefit be is to make our voices heard?
Heard,
But
yes.
also, I think people want that expression. People want
Yeah.
to participate. People have this pent up anger.
Yes.
No, nataka kuitoa somewhere.
Kabisa.
Some feeling.
Because you can't fly to Kenya, it's too far, it's expensive,
It's
and you
complicated.
have work, it's complicated, right?
Let's try.
So yeah, I feel like
So-
here, I feel like you have your voice
You want
a little
to-
bit hurt. Like you want to be, you're so mad, you just want to get it out. So ukifika hapo, you're like,
Nimesema,
nimetoka na watu
tumemwambia.
wangu. I have my flag, I have my Kenyan flag, I have my Kenyan wristband. I am ready, you know? Inaonyesha, oh, even people from Australia are mad.
Throw the idea,
you
you'd be
know?
surprised.
Yeah.
Let's, would you say this is a headless, faceless
I will
organization?
tell all my
Hey,
friends.
Gen Z, please lead us.
I will get a whole bus.
Because you just never know if that's what will help people. Because I think people want to be heard.
Yeah.
People want to, they want someone to hear, and they're like frustrated. Kasa to ski, and they want to slap you or kupige or kutukane because they want to express themselves.
Yeah.
And you're the closest person. Bagano na huyu nika huyu president wetu wanaanza kuona you're exactly behaving like our preso. People want to express themselves.
Yeah, and that is exactly what wanaona.
I know. And John, it must be a hard place. No. Really, I sympathize with you because it must be
Yeah.
a difficult place to wake up and being.
Yeah,
Because
that's
when I
what
look
I
at
was
them,
saying.
unfortunately, it's from a distance. I am totally separated from. I don't. It's not personal. I'm not to Kanana. I feel, oh wow, we are Kasirika, you know. But it's
I know.
not personal. I don't feel that I'm any 2C. No. But if that's what's coming at you, oh, that's hard.
It's not really like kutusi. It's being a bit forward, being
It
rude,
is. It
being a bit
is.
rude. It doesn't come with a bit of seasoning, you know.
In Kiswahili, it turns out to be matusi.
Laoni mtiaji huyu.
You know, you can say the same statement in a different way and it won't appear
But when
insulting.
people are emotions running high,
People are
people
mad.
forget
And
they are
that's
not
for a
well
very long
regulated.
I've told
It's
you again,
rage.
and you look at
Yeah.
it. It's all connected. It all works in all together.
Yeah.
They're not just texting any random person.
No.
They're texting this person because they bear this. Now, if it finds you on a good day or a bad day, that's up to you. But you need to know how to handle it. And that's where Ruto is right now. Ruto might be in a position. He's probably trying his
hard.
best
It's hard.
to make
Yeah.
things work.
Yeah.
They're not working. But here's the problem: there's people who have questions, and
They
these
need answers.
questions
They keep flowing.
they need.
The answers,
What
and the
I've
answers
learned-
have to be the answers that they want.
Yeah, what
It
I've
has to be
learned
right.
is that as a leader, sometimes you are damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Pretty much.
So-
As a leader.
Facts. Yeah.
So, for example, they asked for a statement. We gave one. They still rejected our
Still
statement.
upset.
And that's
So
okay.
you
And
can
that's
wonder
expected.
what do they want us to do? And as a leader, that's something that I have found. You are damned either way.
Yeah, that's how
People are
you
different.
should expect it because
Yeah.
you know what you're making it a conversation, a recurring conversation. Because now the previous leadership was complaining now about the same thing.
And
you know-
into perspective more,
Yeah.
if you are here, the past few leaderships,
Yeah.
I never saw a conversation of this magnitude.
But the times are
Let me say,
different, man.
this event this time was unprecedented.
It is.
But I'm not only talking about this event. I said even during when we were
Just the
planning the
gala.
gala.
All right.
If you read some of the text, they were quite forward. So I would say there's some elements of attacks that have come to us that have not been faced by any other leadership.
Because Gen Z has become of age and they are speaking.
I don't think those who are Gen Z.
No, you can. times are different. The challenges are
know, they're
different.
different.
No, we have had Kasa leadership during post-election violence. We have had Kasa leadership during the 2013, 2022 elections that were heated, but we never had this kind of hatred and vendetta
I wouldn't say
directed
hatred.
at Kasa leadership.
But
People had that vendetta against each other because Kenya is a tribal nation. People really have some vendetta when you go against their tribesmen. But this time, it has been directed at Kasa. And I will say this: yes, part of the team looks like Uhuruto in Kasa, but these are the people who put their hand up
To serve. That's
to
correct.
serve.
Anyway.
You never came out and said you want to serve, and you like some position it was like a walk
It is,
over because there was no one else to compete with. Actually, we only had election for the president.
We're going back to the apologetic. Let's
No, I'm just saying. I'm just
Oh,
saying from
we're
you.
going back, okay.
I hear you.
I'm trying to bring to
Yes.
perspective.
You're not wasting
that
any moments
there is something
here.
with our team that is unique to the other teams. And
At
I'm
least the
thinking,
way you see it.
yeah, not the way I see it. You look at the statistics.
ideally, actually, that's
That's
a self-judgment. So you don't have to judgment from outside. So that
No, guys, all right,
So that
it's
you can
10 o'clock.
actually-
It's 10 o'clock. Kuna mtu ana mambo mengine. Is there some other questions that are
Maybe
coming
look
out
at,
there?
what people are saying on
Yeah,
the
could you look and see is anything important that we need to respond to, a criticism we're going to
the
receive?
criticism is still coming.
Yeah.
That's okay. Hey, but that's
Respect
okay.
that.
But it
That's
still
good.
tells you people.
And they're
the issues will be
engaging.
there.
People
They're
have
engaging.
opinions,
Someone
yeah.
said, "Oh, sijui acheni mambo ya Kasa." Someone said, "Ametuambia tuache kuongeza stories za nini za
Eh.
Kasa, tuongee Ruto must go nini tukapewa
Ruto
list."
must go.
I can't find it.
Where?
Yeah, amesema tuacheni
Yo.
mambo ya ku be being
Yeah,
distracted.
right now it's I think they wali vuka laini hapo with the killings. It was completely unnecessary.
That is
Completely.
unnecessary.
Completely
People should not be
unnecessary.
losing lives for going to picket. They shouldn't.
Especially kids.
And in fact, if they allowed them into parliament, then why go on and shoot? They're already inside. I don't see the reasoning behind that. So that one is uncalled for.
He
People.
said it was a coup.
Nah.
He thought it was a
But
coup. That's why he had the live.
If you compare with what happened in America during Trump's time, they call it, in America they don't call it coup, they
Yeah.
call it insurrection.
Yeah.
So whenever you attack national emblems like parliament, that's huge. So that's an arm of government. It can be termed as treason,
Treason, yeah.
but I don't want to preempt anything.
But they were peaceful.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the-
peaceful.
But
But
you see this government, they're just working
Yeah.
like
I wouldn't condone violence. You see, what happened in parliament, they did a lot of damages inside there. So I don't condone that kind of violence, but we applaud the youth for coming out. But they shouldn't be treated the way they were treated. They should have been treated with some restraint. Because
No.
even when they went inside, they never attacked anyone. They just peacefully escorted them out. So I'm thinking they should have been, because these are very young people, they are our kids. There should have been some restraint into that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like your brothers, your sisters, there's people that you grew up with. They're so young.
And it was
How you
sad
gonna
seeing
do
that you
for?
saw that police officer who resigned on the spot.
Yeah.
Because
Who saw his brother?
Yeah, his
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get shot.
these
That was
are sad
sad.
scenes coming from Kenya.
Yeah.
And we don't want to see this going forward. We want to see the government being a bit calm and approach these issues differently. And listen to the people, because if they listen to the people, we wouldn't be there.
Exactly.
And I can see my friend Cleophas Kigen is giving me some statistics.
Cleo.
Some statistics. Yeah, Cleo is saying that Kenyans around 4,000 here in South Australia, according to the latest number.
4,000?
4,000. So
In
Melbourne is 4 to 5,000. So we are almost the population of Melbourne as well.
Wow.
And Sydney is 6,000 and Perth 7,000. So Perth is the one with the highest. That is the population. And I can see also from Facebook, from YouTube, people are giving a lot of opinions here and there.
Yeah.
I don't think we can read all of them, but thank you for your contribution. We are
Yes.
listening. We will take all these views into consideration when coming up with a response or with a proposal for the Kenyans here in South Australia.
Do you guys feel like there would be need for these conversations to continue, different time, different faces?
Yeah,
Because
for sure.
Because you need to bring
We should do
different
different
divergent
episodes,
views,
yeah.
and just have people come in. Especially if there's some people who are those, they call them keyboard warriors.
Yes.
We probably need them to see
We
if they
actually
can
invited
verbalize.
them. They were
You did?
available.
Yeah, some people are not able
All
to
those
come.
keyboard warriors, some of them we invited.
Yeah, there's one I was expecting he'd be here.
I
man.
know, that would be nice. I know.
That the guy who was the guy.
Yes.
I was expecting he'd
And
be
we
here.
would like to see that next time. We called,
coming next
but they're
week.
not able to. So
coming
next
next
week,
week.
maybe you can arrange.
Encourage them to come to the show and not just be keyboard warriors, but be
People come and dialogue.
accountable here
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Because we invited them. There are someone available.
Well, unless there's anything else, I feel like that's a good introduction. We obviously have not exhausted anything. We cannot exhaust everything. We don't represent every view. It's just what we're just here to begin the conversation. Thank you, South Australians, Kenyans in South Australia who've tuned in. Thank you for taking the time to listen. We hope that this has been something that is sort of useful conversation. We just hope it is, and a place that we can all vent and speak and exchange ideas. We've heard some heavy stuff, so let's go easy on our leadership, the Kasa group. Yes, and let's love them. Send some love their way. Tough questions.
They'd have to develop skills,
Develop skills to do.
natural ones.
So yeah, all right. So guys, thank you so much, Emmanuel. Anything final concluding remarks from everybody, and then we can close in 5 minutes.
All right. Well, I would want to say the issue that we experience in as Kenyans and Kenyans at large, it's more than Gen Zs, it's more than the millennials and everyone. It's affecting everyone. So it is the time to be more united, to have more power with everyone and speak up our rights and speak up our minds.
Awesome.
And we'll save our country. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening to us tonight. And from where I stand from, I would like to receive as much opinions, views. We are listening to you, and we are here to represent you. So I urge you to send us those views, but let us remain peaceful and be constructive. We are all Kenyans, and we are here for Kenyans. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Hope you tune in next time. Let's all be peaceful. Let's all have a good time. Kenya tuko pamoja. Yeah.
And as for me, I reject the Finance Bill 2024. And also, let's continue keeping anybody in a position of leadership accountable. And
Speak your mind.
always let us, anybody who is in a position of leadership, you've been put there and you have a responsibility, whether here or anywhere, wherever. And anybody, provided you're, even in this case, because of this context, provided you're a Kasa member and you have questions, you know the right team to direct the questions to. Hopefully you just remember they're human as well. So portray the message in a good way. But that's what we are calling for, even as, say, people who are younger. Because ideally, if I go to work, I'm expected to perform any kind of job that I'm employed. Mm-hmm. So why are you, who is in a certain job, and you're acknowledging it's a job, why are you not performing? So, and that's what we want with the current government, even in Kenya and everywhere. We are somewhere where we can observe where democracy is working, where governance is working properly. So how about we try and emulate it back home?
All right, unless there's anything else, we want to say thank you again, everybody. So peace out. This is from us here in Jimmy's studio. Thank you, Jimmy, for the hard work. Until we hear from you, and let's continue this discussion and this important and crucial conversation. Remember, keep it respectful wherever you are. Umoja ni nguvu. We're still one people. Express your views, don't be afraid, but let's be sensitive to the fact that we know that we are brothers and sisters. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night. Are we done?
you.